How was everyone? Enjoying Smash? See a couple of you are eating. This is a no food panel, so please. This is a place to eat. Is that right? In the bin or up here for us to eat? Well, this is the canteen. So you're all here because you have some sort of interest in pop culture journalism, right? I would assume. If not, you'd probably be at the Madman panel, which is far more interesting than this one. Sorry. We're here to just, I guess, create competition for us by telling you how to get started in this. So SnapThirty was, what, 2 years ago?
About 2.5 years ago, we all put together and decided to make our own website. Before then, we all had worked on previous different websites, doing same sort of thing, covering anime, gaming, different things like that. But we decided we were going to make a website and focus primarily on Japanese pop culture, anime, manga, Japanese films, music, all that comes under the category of Japanese pop culture.
Yeah, so I mean, first step to getting started, right, is to make something. You can't do much on the internet nowadays if you don't have your own website, because if you rely on YouTube, eventually YouTube will go off on its own, or it will ask something of you, and there's always a good idea to have a backup. So your website is a perfect place to start. We live in a great age where the internet connects to everyone. So chances are if you make something, someone's going to see it. Someone you want to see it will see it. So one late night, the three of us got together and discussed a name. That's where it started.
Yes, a name.
It was just the name, and it's the weirdest name we ended up with, but it's fine because it proves you can do something with almost nothing. What were the couple of names we came up with? That's pretty funny.
Tanuki Tribune?
That was my one. I really thought Tanuki Tribune would take off, but no, apparently no one did. Just me. That was the only one I liked. A couple was Second Cell.
Yes, I don't know where that one came from.
Because I like Cell from Dragon Ball Z, so Second Cell sounds like an animation thing.
Yeah, I tried to spin it into an animation.
Nah, it didn't work.
Well, we eventually came up with SnapThirty. Number one, because like an action word and a number is way more memorable than anything else, especially in Tanuki Tribune, or Kappa Snapper was his one.
Yeah,
so
we ended up with the Snap, so I think I won a little bit.
If that's any better, I'll change the name now.
Small victory.
Small victory.
There's no reasoning behind it, though. You just like the word.
I liked Kappa and Snapper. It has a rhyme to it, rhyme and a reason and a rhythm.
No reason. We kept Snap, and as it turns out, 30 in old school journalism, when they used to write articles, they would always end it with the 30. It signified the end of the article. So we just thought that was kind of like a cool little thing to put there.
If you read any of the articles, every single article we end with that kind of little trademark there, so it's one of our little things.
It sounds simple, but you do have to start with a name. Because that's what everyone's going to call you. Like if you want to tell someone what you do, you give them the name of your site to lead them to it. So you have to make sure that you don't necessarily have to say everything about what it does, because it doesn't exactly say it, but if it's at least memorable, then it might stick with you. I'm read this up. But you have to start just something that can tell people.
Our thoughts after coming up with the name, this is too loud by the way, am I talking to you? Our thoughts when coming up with the name is, like, we all know Crunchyroll, right? Everyone watches Crunchyroll. What does that mean? I don't know what Crunchyroll is. It's like the most popular anime streaming site. So if they can make it with that name, we could probably make it with SnapThirty.
It sounds like it's a food website or something.
It does. It was also SnapThirty was an inside joke just to do with him. We somehow got away with it, and people actually give us review material and stuff, even though our name is incredibly ridiculous. But actually, it leads on to another point: is when you're starting something like this, you have to find your demo. You have to create the realm you're going to play the game in. For the last website we worked at, it was pop culture as a whole. They had a team of about over a dozen. So they were able to, is that right? They were able to cover everything, but three dudes can't cover everything. There's only a certain amount you can get to, which is fine, but you need to be able to live comfortably in that realm. So we chose Japanese pop culture as a whole, which is great because we all love it. Luke's addicted to everything Japanese. His favorite show is Love Live.
That's what I do.
Just found that out today. I spend too much money on manga every week, and Kane is standard otaku. We don't see him much outside of recording a podcast.
What are you gonna do?
Well, that's right. So we found that we decided to go only Japanese pop culture. So far it's worked because we reached out to Bandai Namco and Square Enix and Madman and Hanabi, and they were all like, yeah, awesome. They gave us review copies. I believe Madman was the first one to give us a review copy. Just on a whim, I suppose they saw something and they gave us, the collector's limited edition of Attack on Titan. And that, I don't know how we got that straight up, but that kind of boosted us and we got an audience because of this. I mean, Attack on Titan at the time was the most popular anime. It's still pretty damn popular now.
It really did help launch our site in a big way. That review that we did, it was a big hitter for us and it really launched us in a big way. But before we go on a bit more about our site, I think we should talk about where we all kind of started doing this.
It is true. Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. So, well, I don't think we've properly introduced ourselves yet.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I'm Luke.
I just thought everyone knew who I was.
We're not that famous.
John Travolta.
I'm Luke Halliday. I've been working and writing on Japanese pop culture in general for about 7 years now. I believe I started towards the end of 2009. Before that, I was just a fan. I was on Batman's Facebook page and spamming the crap out of them and just being a bit of a nuisance. And
When are you releasing Hunter x Hunter?
So I started as a fan and I always kind of wanted to do something with my writing. I was always a writer since I was young, and I wanted to do something like journalism, but what I wanted to write about, the news I was interested in, was not really something that is going to make you a lot of money. You can't really have a job just doing it, and that's the unfortunate reality. This is can't be a millionaire running an anime website, unfortunately.
And also don't start it with that in mind. It's not the way to go. It has to be just driven by passion, otherwise it's not really going to go anywhere.
It's a passion project, and a passion that you need to have, otherwise you're not going to be able to sustain it and do it for a late period of time. So I've been doing it for 7 years. I started at a website called Capsule Computers. I was there for about maybe 4 years. During my time there, I started writing about video games, movies, just Western pop culture in general, because that's what the focus of the website was. But eventually I said to the editor of the site, I said, "Any chance I could write about anime?" And he said, "Anime? I don't really think that's that. I don't really think that fits on the site." I said, "Well, just give me a chance and see what we can do here." So I wrote a review out of my own pocket. I went and bought a DVD, I believe it was a random volume of One Piece, and I reviewed that, and it got big hits for the website. And he says, "I want more of that." And I said, "Well, I can't keep it out of my pocket." So he reached out to Madman, and that's when Madman began to know who I was, and I began to review their products. And eventually Hanabi, Siren Visual, all these other companies came involved, and it kind of just starts with trying to get your name out there. When you get your name out there, then you can launch yourself in a multitude of different directions. And
It's not hard.
it's not hard, truthfully. If you take the chance and you're willing to put the time in, even if there's remedial reward, sometimes you'll write an article and you think to yourself, "Man, this is the best article I ever wrote." And you get 100 views of that and one comment
That says
that you suck.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. But if you really enjoy it, you can make something of it and make some kind of moderate success and fulfillment within your own self. You're not going to be a millionaire. That was the reality I had to face. because it was always what I wanted to do, and once I got into doing it, I really was wanting to just only do that. I didn't want to have to work a day job, I didn't want to have to do that, I just wanted to do this and that was it. And eventually you have to accept that reality, but once I got to that point, I just started hitting my stride and I was getting my name out there. So I met you two guys.
Well, Kane and I joined at the same time.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. Because then we all left this last website together, and we decided let's just do it. We need to just do it because I mean it was all good and well writing for the website. Nothing against the website, nothing wrong with the website, but I think we felt that there was satisfaction elsewhere in just creating our own thing. So we did. And yeah, a couple hours of going through the website and heading to WordPress. Great place to go from the website.
Which is what you were saying before, is that it sounds simple, but you write, if you want to write, you write what you know and what you want. Otherwise, you're not going to want to do it. It's not going to be worth whatever warrant or attention you do manage to get. So it's right, you were writing for this other side, which, going back to how we actually got into it, the thing about writing all of this stuff that people like and want to do is it's mostly just chance. Which is not the best thing. It's not usually a career path. I'm studying writing and learning to write and all of that, and that definitely helps. But there's no course or job description that will just get you into writing for this. You really just have to start yourself. I think the way we got into it was Luke sent out a tweet asking for hires. And Frank saw it. Then told me about because I don't pay much attention. And then we just wrote in some test articles.
Managed to get it in.
Managed to get it.
And that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Just take that chance.
But even then, it's not something that I was really planning to do. I just liked anime, pop culture and stuff like that. And then he said there's a job, volunteer offer, which is a good place to start anyway because even if volunteer they won't pay you, but you can practice it. And that's how we established ourselves enough to start our own site.
Once again, don't do it for money at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep working at it with that in mind in the future. It's definitely not going to start that way.
And then there's benefits. I mean, I don't know who he is a fan of Attack on Titan. Like a mad fan. We have the game that's about to be released in a week's time. We've had it for about 2 weeks. It's great, by the way, it's a fantastic game. But I mean, I'm spoiling it. Everyone dies. Yeah, like that's after 2.5 years of dedication. We all have full-time jobs and we stay up late at night and get up early in the morning. And you know, like I've started work at 8 o'clock all week this week, and yet I've done 4 or 5 articles on Pokemon because it gets the hits, and we love Pokemon, and the new Pokemon come out. And even though I don't like half of them, I still got to write about them because that's our demographic. The Pokemon fans, the Hunter x Hunter fans, the Naruto fans. I wrote a Naruto article about a year and a half ago. It's still our top article. Continuously,
because the reveal of who Token was.
Something along those lines. So that's something you need to keep your mind on, is that you find your demographic and you stick with it. But yeah, so I don't know, we've kind of told that story for us. We told the most story. Kane and I's story is boring. We're friends. And then we're friends in another place, and then that's it, and we're now with you.
Yeah, which
so is it?
Which, instead of just going back to starting our own and splitting off from it, because we worked at the other place. It was good, it was an established site. So they had viewers, they had fans, and all that, which was good. But as it went on, the way it was set up wasn't exactly to our personal tastes, I guess. That's the polite way of saying it.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't bad, it's just that there were certain restrictions to the way that I should. Like, I like to just write stuff, whatever it comes into my head. And I write a gimmick or a pun or something like that, which I didn't really like because it was like, it's in the title if it doesn't make sense, I don't want to click on it. Which, you work there so you get the experience. But then the benefit of
write this down because it's going to be on the text at the end. That's another good thing is find your voice.
Yeah,
Find your voice and run with it. And you will through writing anyway. You will just instinctively find that.
yeah, because I mean, there are rules, I guess, in English and grammar.
For maybe regular journalists.
Same for everyone else. But it doesn't have to, at least for me, the thing that I enjoy about writing is that I can write however I want. I like English, and I like writing stories.
What language you speak?
But it doesn't have to be the 100% rules. It's not like a class, you're not going to get marked down because you started a sentence with the end with it or something like that. Like, write however you want. Like between the three of us, we all would write our articles. I don't think any of us have the same voice or way of writing.
A lot of websites you'll read, they're written in all the same way. Every single article, no matter who the author is, say it's, just Kotaku for example. Every article is written by Kotaku. It's not written by this person, that person, this individual's voice sounds the same, no matter which article you read. A lot of websites, they want the website to be the voice. I think what separates our website is that us three individually and our other writer Jahan, who's not here, is that we all write
Left us to move to another place. It's not Sydney.
lives in the world order. But we all write differently, and I think it keeps all of our content fresh, and when they're reading it, it doesn't come off as robotic. There's more a personality behind the words.
I feel like our audience, the Snap family as we call them, because we're friends with most of our audience rather than just, they watch our stuff and read our articles. I think they enjoy something that we actually know about. We don't want someone writing about Metal Gear Solid who's never played Metal Gear Solid or never seen Metal Gear Solid. You don't want someone writing about Digimon that doesn't know what Digimon is. You want to hear an opinion from someone who is self-educated on that. We love something, right? We love this stuff, so we do the research and we follow it. And it just would not be the same if we were to go, yeah, no, cool, Fire Emblem's rad. I heard there's horses and swords in it. You want to be able to put some depth into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because as simple as it is, if anyone has the interest in writing, which I'm sure people do, you're talking about it. Anyone can write and do this because we live in an age where you can just go and buy a domain name, and there's 40 different services that you can build a website without having to know how to code it. I don't know how to build a website. You can do that, there's programs that can write. Anyone can write, anyone can make a website, make videos. Like, as cliche as it sounds, anyone can be a writer, but only you can be yourself as a writer. So if you don't put yourself into it, or your own voice, then there's not really a point.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Even if you do enjoy the more clinical style, if you think to yourself, I like it when a review gets to the point, at least there's points, it tells me what I need to know, and I can get it out in a second. If that's what you like, that's what you want to do, then just do that.
Yeah.
If you like to ramble on at the beginning, throw 40 sentences where there only needs to be one, then do that. That's me. If anyone's like, do that. And if you like it, the chances are someone else likes it. And then they might keep coming back to that. Or if there's more people, I don't really know how the breakdown works, but some people might prefer the way Ruby writes and hate the way I do, which, what can you do? So they'll come back for here. Or however it works. If you don't enjoy it. And it's not that complicated. I know I found that, which coming to our own side, I just enjoy the fact that I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Be free. I put stupid captions on photos and screenshots, just ramble on about nonsense. And that's, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, like we said before, it's pretty much a passion project no matter where you are. Hopefully, if you keep writing, then you'll get noticed by people that might send you something that might, even if it's just a press release, and say, you want to write about this and send it to fans. And you do that. So after you've established those places, which you can keep doing as you go on, you can change. It's not
understand you have the right to pick and choose what you do. That's one, like, so actually getting, you really need some tips, right? So actually, like hooking yourself up with a publisher or a distributor is as easy as sending them a PR email. You'll be on all of their sites, send them an email, put a link to your website, explain what you do. Chances are they will hook you up with a PR manager and you can speak to a person directly. And if you can just say, look, you've got X, Y, and Z coming out, not the games they've already come out. Can we have one thing? They might say, no way, no. Or they might say, special chance. It's a lot easier to work with contact Madman. I mean, Madman give us most review material of anyone. And not that they're hard to work with, they're not at all. But if you go to a Bandai Namco or a Square Enix, chances are they'll give you a download code. It doesn't cost them anything. They don't have to manufacture the disc, the cover, nothing. They'll just give you a code and you download it at your own discretion. I mean, Square Enix just gave us, I can't remember what the first game was. I think it was like Final Fantasy Beta Rhythm, something like that. But they just were like, yeah, here's the download code. There's your chance. So that's a good place to start. Start with this. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, the website. Go to the website. Start with that and then go from there. And pick and choose.
Keep doing stuff. Because if you do those when they say no, they're going to do right, then start writing stuff. Just go find some news, write about the news, make your own opinion piece. Just keep like showing them that you're committed to putting out content.
That's right.
Because, I mean, they might take a chance. Sometimes they'll go, yeah, when you're not interested in some fact, they might give you a chance.
As I said, for me, when I was working at the previous website, Caption Computers, for me it took me reviewing out of my own pocket to kind of get their awareness. And I reviewed One Piece, a Madman DVD release kit, and after that we sent it off to them and they came back and said, sure, why not, let's send you some more stuff to review for us. If you are willing to take the chance, you're willing to be professional about it and not, come out of it trying to just, slam something or
Don't attack anything.
This thing's, crap. It's crap, but you don't come at it, I like to call it praise, keep praise.
Yes, praise, praise sandwich.
It's a writing or review style I like to implement where you give my praise it, and you kick it, and you praise it again and again. So, say for example, what was it? Arslan Sankey, the Dynasty Warriors game. I start off the review. Arslan Sankey would fit perfectly in a Dynasty Warriors game. It's a great fit. Unfortunately, the game is crap and really buggy and doesn't work. But the Dynasty Warriors formula is still just as good as it always was, and Arslan is good in this sort of style. So praise, keep praise, great F, But
in 2 years of the site existing, we've only ever given 2 things. Three. Quite a lot. Valve, the anime, everyone knows Valve. Genuine reaction there. Valve, and then I can't remember the third thing, but we don't often give terrible reviews. It's not, everything is terrible. Actually, most things are quite good.
That's just us though. It's not like a little insight tip or anything. Like if you get a review from someone and you think it's crap, then you write that. Like we're not saying don't because they gave it to you. There's no real bias for most of these publishers. I mean, the worst it gets is if they give you something early, they say, don't show this and reveal stuff. Like, don't leak it, you sign an NDA, like non-disclosure agreement. So you just don't stream it before it comes out or do anything like that. That's just professional courtesy.
Be professional, we follow their rules, and I guarantee you'll have a great working relationship with any of these publishers like we continue to have. So
they're all very much willing to give everyone a hand.
Because at the end of the day, they want coverage and feel willing to give them coverage. And they're just giving you a copy of something that you writing might tell 10, 50 other people about. That's right. And it's just how it is.
So step one is just to send heaps of emails. Seriously, heaps of emails. And then, once you've got your writing down pat, because I truly believe that's a good place to start, above all else, especially if you have that in you, then you go on to other things like we do a podcast, we have a YouTube channel, which could be a lot better, but that's not in our wheelhouse right now. We're trying, but we do a weekly podcast. It's always a good thing to do. People love video reviews, stuff like that. You just got to keep expanding.
It's worth noting that not everyone is going to fit into sort of style. Like our style that we implement for reviewing and articles and so on, it's not going to fit for you guys. So my suggestion is find your style, find what fits for you. If a video review comes more naturally to you than a 2,000 word review like we will write outside, then go with video, because at the end of the day, what comes across to viewers is sincerity and it's genuine. And if you're sincere in what you write and you're genuine in what you put out, that comes across. But if you're putting something out that's not your style or not you, comes out forced, it comes across and people interpret that and say, I'm not coming out this way. And that's probably the worst thing you have. You want to have returning.
You might do anyway, but if you do it as yourself, at least you know what to get into. Don't try and write how you think a website sounds. Read another gaming site of an established site, oh, that's how you do it. That's the way they do it. I'm going to do that, because when they started, it probably wasn't done like that. They did it their way, and their ways are popular. Sometimes smart, but the industry already exists. This is an industry based on that one, just writing out the products of other people, which is fair. It's an industry itself now, but maybe said before, don't just try and copy someone if you think that that's a shortcut to success. Because as cliche as it sounds, there is no shortcut. You just have to do whatever you can and do it your way and keep doing it. If it doesn't work, maybe have a look at it, try to do it, but don't shift it to something that's not for you.
Don't stop doing it. I actually got a quote here from Jahan, who we mentioned earlier, but he's not here.
He's been doing this stuff longer than
Jahan has been writing, began writing for a newspaper in Pakistan on video games. This is back in 2004. So he's been doing this quite a long time. He came to Australia, he wrote for a website called GM, which is now defunct, but maybe some of you might remember it. He wrote with us at Capsule Computers, and eventually he's come over with us now. And he's got over a decade of experience, and I feel like I wish he was here, because he has a really great knowledge on this kind of thing and the realities of trying to do this job, trying to be a pop culture journalist.
And I have a quote from him here, actually kind of said, I hate the term pop culture journalism because it makes actual journalists like wear that, we're not that, we just write funny stuff about stupid crap. So
we're not fans of journalists.
That's right.
People that write stuff that know how to put words onto the page, that's all.
So Jahan has this to say, it's important for any aspiring pop culture journalist to be themselves rather than force this image of being an expert. So many writers and YouTubers too many writers and YouTubers try to be a walking encyclopedia and regurgitating facts. Be real. If you're a newbie, then let that discovery shine, because it will get uninitiated readers more excited. Recall history as you remember it. If a game or anime was huge in your childhood and just in your school or neighborhood, then that's a better story than verifying it with factual sales figures. And I think that speaks for the entire site. It's true. You have to. I once wrote an article that was like 3,000 words long about Japanese beetle fighting. No one's interested in that apart from the people in Japan who battle beetles, but I like that, and it got a fair amount of hits, and that's what you need to do. Stick to what you love. Once again, I can keep repeating this all day, but that's the main point, stick to what you love.
want to talk a little bit about the things that you can get out of doing this, other than review materials, obviously. For me, personally, I always wanted to kind of do something like this. And I knew after I left school and all that, it was, you know, it's not a reality to have this as a full-time money-making job, or at least not immediately, maybe down the line, hopefully, if this can get big enough. But there is different opportunities that will come up to you that will really make it all kind of worth it in unique and different sort of ways. And I've told you guys this story before. So when I was a kid, I grew up watching Pokemon, Digimon, Samurai and all that. I really loved Digimon. It was like one of my favourite things. And the Digimon movie was probably one of my favourites. And I remember I was a kid and it was at the local shopping centre. They had some big, where they have to give them the costumes, dressed up as Agumon and all the Digimon. I was only, 10 years old. I'm so excited to see the Digimon. And
You look more or less the same as you do.
I'm the same than I have an age. So I walked up on the stage. It was like a competition or something. They asked me what Digimon evolves to this one. I gave the answer and I got Digimon VHS. And I pretty much burned out that VHS watching it so many times. And skip forward about 15, 16, maybe not that, maybe about 10 years later. It was 12 years later. About 12 years later, I got an opportunity to interview the director of Summer Wars and Wolf Children. You might know him, Mamoru Hosoda. He's one of the most famous anime directors in Japan. And it just so happened that he was the one that directed that Digimon movie that I watched all that time ago when I was a kid. And I had the opportunity to interview him. I was interviewing him, I was talking about his new film, which I was there for. And afterwards I said to him, I told him that story, and through a translator, of course. And he said to me, I never knew that my work could inspire someone on the other side of the world. And that to me was like a moment that it made everything worth it. All those sleepless nights, those weeks where I was broke because I wasn't making any money. Just being able to kind of meet my own hero in a way, that kind of was a reward that I wouldn't have been afforded had I not taken the chance to try and make something of this. And I like telling that story because to me it's one of my greatest achievements, being able to meet him and tell him that story. Because I feel like for him, and he was making that anime film, maybe he didn't know just the effect it would have. And I like to think that what I'm doing now, one day will have that same kind of effect with someone else.
It's
Affected you?
Actually, it's funny. Luke taught me how to do all this when I started looking at the last website. I didn't see him as a friend then. I saw him as a scary guy that told me how to write words. And now I'm so much better than him.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Don't tell him. I reckon we should open the floor for questions, right? What do you think? Anyone got any questions? We have I'm going to come in.
Each stage of the not just enjoying something, but thinking enough about it to actually get the energy to be right about it. So I always have these ideas that I want to know about something, but I want to actually get onto the part where I put it down and get into it and actually be on the floor.
Well, it's kind of different just to tie them together because sometimes the way I write things now is, at least in my head, first of all, I write like I would speak to someone. I'll put in a sentence randomly or complete aside. I'm like, oh, you're like that or something. The way I would contemplate it. In my head, when I'm writing it down, it's like I'm saying it to someone the same way I would turn to one of these guys. Remember, you see that episode there, why do you do that for? So, I think kind of just making it in my own mind, if I'm saying it to someone else, it's just not there. It helps me find the energy less of a chore and more of just, this is what I think about it, I'm like, this is what I'd say to someone, I hope someone reads it, and they know what they think.
So I feel like when it comes to like energy and having that initiative and the drive to, like, say you watch an episode and you're like, oh, I should write about that, but I don't really want to. But you still think you should. It's a pretty good indication that maybe you didn't like the episode. There are plenty of anime that I'm like, that's rad. Oh, JoJo's documentary is fantastic. I'll write about this all night. And then I'll watch another one and I'll be like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. And that lack of energy is kind of your opinion. Because if you loved it, you'd be like, awesome, let's do it, let's write about this all night. Considering you don't want to, that in itself is something to write about.
It's not entirely to the point, but it's maybe a little bit. When it comes to writing about anything in general, and just going back to the baseline of it, I don't know if I figured out what genius or anything, but at least for my personal college.
Genius, Kane?
I know big words good sometimes. When you're writing about just anything in general, the fact that it's just your opinion, which we've said plenty of times, but it's kind of the biggest point we have. That's important. And if you remember that from the baseline, whatever you think about it is what you think about it. And don't be afraid to write that. It's also, nothing is 100%. We've had many discussions about just anything. There's a game where you're like, I really like this part, but I hated this part. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to lean one way or the other. Again, something like when I put it into my articles or reviews or whatever, opinion pieces, that you can like a part of something and hate a part of something, and they're just as valid as each other. And knowing that I can just put both of those into something, it kind of helps me actually go through with it instead of hesitating. If you think they have to be one way or the other, you're like, I like the beginning, so I should probably just talk about the things I like because I wanted to get that kind of attention because I liked it. I hated this part. You put both of those in, and then that way people can latch on to anything. You've said everything you need to say, and it's cathartic in a way. So, I mean, it's basically just the way to get the energy is to realize that whatever is keeping you from it, whatever hesitation you have, they don't necessarily matter if you can just do what you want to do, put down whatever you want to put down.
I have a kind of similar feeling on that topic, but for me, a lot of the time I'm lacking the energy to do it. It usually comes down to the fact that I feel pretty apathetic about the content. But sometimes there is rare cases where I'll watch something and I'm like, I love that, but I just don't know what to say about it. And I feel if you don't know what to say yet, I feel like sometimes as writers we misunderstand the feeling of not knowing what to say and not having the energy to say it. And sometimes if you don't know what to say yet, but sometimes when you've got to work to a deadline or you want to get something out on time, I still think sometimes it's better to sit on it, think on it, sleep on it, whatever the term is, and come back to it, because it's important to establish that you aren't so much apathetic or you just don't know what to say. If you don't care about it, that's a really different situation entirely, but if you do care about it and you just really don't know how to put it into words, and sometimes something is so good and it's almost beyond explanation or description, and I've had that so many times and it's actually really frustrating. It's like, I really love this series, why can't I just write this review? I want to give it an A+, I just want to sing its praises from the rooftops, but I just can't put it into words because that's a whole different thing altogether. And I think the real starting point for that kind of finding energy is resolving whether you didn't care or maybe you cared a lot. And if you cared a lot, I think it's worth caring about, giving it a bit more time to think, you know? If you don't care about it, then you've got enough problems here. So
Hopefully that answers some of your question. Anyone else?
Hey guys, how you going?
Hello?
You guys talked about creativity and passion and their origin story, which is amazing.
It's going to be made into a trilogy of films.
And a few books as well.
A couple books.
My question relates to how do you guys monetize your content and think about the business aspect to it? Because I'm sure when you write, at what point does the effort of 3,000 word reviews is worth it, at least from a financial perspective? As a freelance artist, I'm at a point where working for exposure and working for opportunity is not worth it anymore. That you need to pay the bills and feed my cat. Yeah, so that's my question to you.
all cats
Before the business structure of your website and so on.
Well, if you look, can you just scroll down a bit? You can see on the right hand side we have links to the Kawaii Box website. So basically the way that particular ad works is the more people that click on and subscribe, the more of our readers, the more money we get back. If you do well enough with a certain publisher,
we'll get advertisements.
eventually they'll go, well, Madman's having a 20% off sale, and they'll put a banner on your site. The amount of clicks through you get equates to the amount of money you make. And that's why it's always good to build a relationship with a company. Because then they will give you that.
If you don't have those relationships with different publishers or different websites such as the Kawaii Box or sort of right now, a lot of people will put on ad block or something like that. That stuff kills websites like us. So I don't know, maybe when you think next time I'll put on ad block, just get rid of these bullcrap ads. If you like the website, because that's how we make money. So other than that, we make money through sponsorship deals and stuff like that. We don't have too much sponsored content on the site. I can't recall much, if any.
No, we definitely pick and choose. We've made a bit of money recently. Actually, getting back to the layers of this, we could have made a bit of money on a single article and could have continued to make that money for a while. But the client that wanted to advertise through our website was for a gambling website. We didn't feel like that was fair to the people that come to the website for Japanese pop culture, So you definitely have to pick and choose, and you just got to be careful. But WordPress, sorry, I'm popping my piece into the mic. WordPress, what we use, they allow, what was it called?
Word ads.
Word ads.
Similar to the Google ads that you can get on most other sort of websites. And, a lot of again, if you have an ad block on, you're not going to see it.
That's right.
So if you ever do on our website, please turn off ad block. That will help us a lot.
And that alone has allowed us to pay for recording equipment, audio and visual, the Elgato for our gameplay videos and stuff. It has allowed us to keep the website afloat, posting the domain name and renewing it every year. So yeah, they do make it available. It's just a matter of utilizing that in as many ways as you possibly can.
Yeah, so to answer your question, the main source of revenue for a website such as us is advertisements. So if you can't secure some ads on your site, then you're not going to make much money off the website unless you have a store opened up or you start selling things for your website. Yeah. Store is another option.
And then it comes down to coverage, like I was saying. I mean, even we've done a few videos on YouTube which you can monetize pretty easily if you establish a channel.
That's right.
But, if no one watches them, we're not allowed to get too many views. That's kind of the new aspect of ours. So we're working on that. The police we used to work with, we have established us now have sponsors for some of their content, videos and podcasts and stuff like that. So there's definitely a few different avenues you can go down, but for the most part, it's just going to come down to how much traffic you can manage to get through.
Yeah, talking about the previous employer, if you look at their website, there's quite a lot of ads. Honestly, maybe even more than you can see articles and whatnot. And they make a lot of money because there's 50 ads on their page, and the more you scroll down, the more ads there are. So we could do that. We could put 150,000 Kawaii box ads up there and make a bit of money, but we choose not to. Because it makes it too big.
The website matters.
That's right. That's right. So hopefully that answers your question as well.
Make business friends, but remember that people are going to actually have to look at your site. So you don't want to just, for the sake of money, just cover it in ads to the point where they're not even going to be bothered.
So that's why people made AdBlock, because of websites like that.
Oh yeah.
Questions?
Yes. Questions.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
First is, so about like you got the free stuff from the publisher, so basically just to write a PR email to the company and then fingers crossed on that. And second one is you have like so many, scroll up a bit on the website. So you have like video games, reviews, features, videos, podcasts, and forum. How do you manage all of the different diversity of your content?
Right, very difficult. Yeah, it gets a bit difficult. I mean, WordPress makes it so easy. Categories are a huge thing in the back end, and that helps to manage that. Also, for your first question, yeah, seriously, email. Eventually, someone will get back to you.
Send through the email to them and tell them what you intend to do. Like, say like games, or like I'd like to copy your game. Write to them. They'll get back to you one way or the other. If it doesn't work out the first time, maybe like what Luke said, we've done it sometimes as well when we didn't get a game. It's just get the game yourself and write about it, write articles, show that you have a commitment, follow it through, give them so they have an example of what you intend to do. They might, if you send them another email, they might get it and they see what you've done and they're okay, we see what he's doing here, and then get back to the game. So it's kind of try, and then if it doesn't happen, do your own work and then try again.
I'll say this here, the easiest way to secure contact, as we like to call it, with the publisher, is to show them some pre-existing work, and they will then have an idea of what you're going to do for them. Because if you just say, oh, I want Attack on Titan, I want this, that, and they'll say, okay, but what are you going to do with it? So you can give them something as an example. You're more likely to secure that kind of relationship there. But just like any boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, there is things that can cause issues and problems and dramas and so on. So as long as you do right by your partner, they'll do right by you.
Because you just basically have to show them that there have been cases, and we've heard of them, where someone will get a copy of something and then just not do anything with it. They won't put up a review, they'll just take the game or the series and take it for their own and then they'll just take it off. And companies want to avoid that, so you basically just have to prove to them that you're not one of those people. Yeah, show them that you're legitimate, show them
Be
that
professional, and that's legitimizing yourself right there. So if you're emailing them, just say, to whoever, this is who I am, this is what I can do for you, here's an example. I would like to do this, if you would provide me with this, and this, kind regards, and that right there that's a standard email, one that you get hundreds of, but if you show them something that you've done, immediately they're thinking, okay, this guy is willing to do something for us. What can we make this something, back and forth thing now? What was your second question again, sorry? Well, the podcast, again, it's something that every week, we actually have to do one later on today. Every week we get together and we make time and us three commit to it, because if you can't, I guess to be able to do all that content, you have to commit. And if you can't commit, then there's no point even trying to do a podcast, videos, reviews, all that, because it's all well and good to have 50,000 podcasts and then you have no reviews, or you need to have a balance. And well, Kane is in charge of our YouTube, and he does a fantastic job with the videos there. We all do reviews, we all do some of that. I handle a lot of contacts. Frank handles all of the looks. We do all the looks.
So I guess simple, it does help if there's more people to do more things. As for managing and releasing your own mind, scheduling does help a lot. Where we've got feature articles, which is just opinion pieces. Luke has one of those and tells us to write a bit for it. It's like, this comes out every week. The podcast, we know that even if we have to record it early because our work schedule is starting to line up, I know that it comes out on Monday. So I schedule it to come out on Monday. So in my head, I know that I have to get it done by then. Luke has his article that wants to come out. We slowed down with videos, just again because of work and new jobs and all that stuff. But you would have it set, you're like, I'm making new videos, so it comes out Wednesday or it comes out Friday. So it helps with that. If you're doing general news and stuff, that's up to the whim of news. One day might have 50 interesting things, another day nothing comes out. So, for more current stuff, it kind of is a bit more freeform, where you just do whatever you can whenever you can. If you want to do more established things, I want to write about a game every week, give it a review. I want to put out a video where I talk about something that I like but maybe isn't popular. I'll set that out on a Saturday. It helps you manage all of that. And even just having the different categories helps. If someone comes to the site and goes, I like games, but I'm not that into that.
I'll say this.
New games, and then
on the topic of the categories, it's very important to set things in categories because it helps you be able to file away your own content. Because when you look at the back end of your website, you don't want to just clutter of, what is this about, what's that about? Because sometimes, if you were say a year ago, you've got to go look back on it for some reason. It's easy to know, okay, it's an anime topic, so I click anime and I'll find where it is there, or, so, any more questions?
We actually, I'm really sorry, I'm talking to us afterwards, but we actually have to wrap up. We did go, we only got about 5 minutes. Thanks for actually sticking with us. I mean, Luke's girlfriend left halfway through, so I'm not over there, but you guys did. And you don't us as much as she does. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for coming out, and I hope something we said helps. And don't get too successful, because then we'll have to start doing more work. Thank you, guys.